The first time you log into Convio, you'll be put into a National Administrator homepage screen. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is switch into your chapter's center. And to do that, you come up here to the top. If it says All Centers, that means you're in the National Center. You're going to want to click Switch to another center and choose your chapter from the list and click Switch to Center. So from this point forward, you're only going to see information that's relevant to your chapter. And each time you log in, you'll be returned to your chapter's information. So every time you log in, you'll be in your chapter center automatically, and you'll be dropped on this center homepage. I'm in the Connecticut chapter center here, so it says Connecticut, but your chapter will say whatever your chapter is at the top there. And the first report I want to show you is here on your center homepage, and it is the TeamRaiser Events dashboard. It's this purple and white dashboard here at the bottom that shows you a list of all of your active TeamRaiser events. So that's any event that has a status of accepting gifts and registrations, accepting registrations only, or accepting gifts only. If your event is closed or unpublished, it will not appear here. And it's important to note that this information on this specific dashboard is only updated nightly. It is not up to the minute, but it's a good place to come if you just want to see a quick overview of how your events are doing. From here, you'll want to go back up to the top and choose Data Management from the top navigation, and then Reports from the drop-down. This is where you'll come for the bulk of your reporting. You'll see there are two tabs up here, actually three tabs, but two tabs that say Reports Classic, which is an older reporting tool that Convio provides, and I'll tell you why we still use that in just a moment. And there's a second tab here called Report Writer. The bulk of our reports will be done in Report Writer. But here on the Reports Classic tab, you have a couple of folders. There is a TeamRaiser Reports folder. You can use this to report on your TeamRaiser events, but note these are just canned reports. They're not reports that you can edit or copy or create any changes to, so I tend not to use those reports in Reports Classic. The only time I do use Reports Classic is for this very last folder that says Custom Reports. Custom reports are reports that we specifically, as the Alzheimer's Association, ask Convio to build for us because the Convio reports don't contain some information that we need. The first one here is the TeamRaiser Summary Report. This is the report that will give you a breakout of participants registered, teams registered, fundraising versus sponsorship, and your overall fundraising totals. When you come in here, you can click to report on any of the events that are in the list. If you don't click any events and you click Run Report, it will report on everything. But you can come down here. If I only want to click on my 2014 reports, I can click and then hold down the Control key on my keyboard and click Additional Events. Note that I can only use the Control key to select multiple events here. It may look like I can use my Shift key and highlight many, but that's not actually the case. You actually have to use Control and click, click, click. And then you can run this report and you're taken to the Report Results tab. From here you can see your report status. You can see mine is currently queued. That means it's in the queue to run. And in order to see how your status is continuing, you have to click the Refresh This Page button. And then once my report has completed, you'll see I have the option to view my report results or download them, print them, or delete them. If I click View, it will show me all of my report results on screen, so I can quickly get a glance of how my event is doing. This is very similar to what we saw on the homepage dashboard, just how many people are registered, how many teams are registered, sponsorship versus fundraising, etc., etc. You can see I also have goals here, and these goals can be filled out in the TeamRaiser itself. I'll show you exactly where. So if I go to Edit My TeamRaiser and I go to step 2, select fundraising options, and scroll down. Under related actions, there is an option to configure fundraising and recruitment goals. You can use these fields to populate your goal amounts. And when you're done, click Finish. Then those goals will appear in your reports as well, so you can see how you're doing relative to your goals. So that's the custom TeamRaiser summary report. Once again, if you go back to the report results tab, you can download those reports to an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can copy and use it for your own reporting needs, or send it along to whoever you need to send it along to. Next, we'll review all of the reports available under the Report Writer tool. Now, in Report Writer, you can click the Create a New Report button and write a new report from scratch. To do this, there are instructions available on Walk Central, under Convio Toolbox, and then Running Reports. This reporting on Convio PDF will walk you through the process of creating a new Report Writer report from scratch. However, that's not necessary. You can use the syndicated reports that we've created for you. So once again, double check that you are in your chapter center. So your chapter name should appear here at the top. And once you're in your chapter center, you can click the Syndicated Reports tab, and you'll see a list of reports that have been created for you. Numbers 1 through 18 are reports that have been created for your 2014 walk events. But there are also some 2012 and 2013 reports still available in there as well if you'd like to report on your past events. Going through these quickly, the first walk event performance report will give you a summary of each event. Again, I'd prefer that you use the custom TeamRaiser summary report because it will give you that breakout of sponsorship versus fundraising, which won't happen here. The second report here is the cross-event registration report. This will give you a list of all walkers within your entire chapter, so across all walk events in your chapter. It will give you all of their biographical information and fundraising metrics, but it won't give you the answers to all of the questions they answered during the registration process. So if you're looking for something like their t-shirt size, you'll need to run the 03 walk registration detail report. The difference between these two reports is that the 03 report can only be run on a per event basis. So you can only run it for each specific event, not for all events across your chapter. Let's take a quick look at this. We'll go into Run the Report. And the first step I get is a report filter. You'll notice there's no value in this report as a selected value field. That means if I try to run this report, it's going to give me an error because I haven't selected a specific event to report on. So I need to click Edit under Actions, and then I need to choose a value. So I need to choose one specific walk to report on and click Finish. Once there's a value in both of these boxes, I can continue on. I can update the label of the report or the description, or I can leave them as is. It's up to you. And I can choose to run this report immediately or schedule it to run at a future time and date. If I choose to run it at a future time and date, I choose the actual date and give it a time range to run. You might want to do this if maybe you want a report ready for you Monday morning and you know it's going to take a while to run. You could schedule it to run Sunday night after midnight. There is an option here to schedule the report to run on a recurring basis. Unfortunately, we're not able to use this feature. We can only have about 50 slots where you can run a report on a recurring basis, and all of those slots have filled up. So unfortunately, that's not currently possible. You have to run it immediately or run it at a specific time and date. And then you can choose whether or not you want an email notification to be sent to other administrators when the report finishes. And if you do, on the next page, you'll be asked to specify which administrators you want to receive that email. So right now I'm going to choose all TeamRaiser administrators for the Connecticut chapter. You can put a little intro here in the email comments if you choose to, and when the report finishes running, they'll receive an email with a link to come and download the report results. Of course, this is not a necessary step if you're just running the report for yourself. You continue on. You can review your report criteria, all the fields that will appear in the report, the sort order and filters, and the final report information, and then click the Run Report button at the bottom. It'll take you to a page that looks like a report results page. You'll have a spinner on the left-hand side that indicates that your report is still running. At this point, if your report is taking a while to run, your report results may never appear on the screen. It's going to give you, after a little bit, a little note that says your report results are not yet ready, and please return to the report results list to view them. Here we go. The report results are not available at this time. Click Report Results List for status. And what that means, because it looks like I'm on the Report Results tab here and here, it means you need to click up here one more time. Click the Report Results List, and you can see the status of your report. And mine is still currently running. So once this report is complete, I'll have to come up here and refresh the page to continue to update the status. And once it's complete, you can see how many rows are in here. This means there are 25 walkers registered for my walk. So I can view the report results on the screen, and if I scroll all the way over to the right, all of my questions that I asked during registration will appear, and the answers will appear here too. So I can see t-shirt size, how did you hear about walk, what's your birth date, gender, etc. So that's the O3 registration detail report. We can head back to Report Writer and Syndicated Reports and continue down the list. Our O4 report is a list of each walk donation that has come in on behalf of a team, participant, or an event. We also have a list of all teams. This can span multiple events or be constricted to one event. And then we have some company reports as well. These will show you how many teams and how many participants and how many dollars have been raised for teams associated with a specific company, and we break that out by national companies and local companies. Reports 10 through 13 will break out walkers based on how much they've raised. So you can run a report of $0 walkers if you'd like to call down and ask them to start fundraising, or you can run a report of all 500 plus fundraisers and thank them for becoming a champion. Those are just kind of helpful for call downs as well. Our report number 14 is our email opt-out report. This will show you a list of everyone in your chapter who's opted out of email, when and why they opted out. Number 15 is our merchant and transaction detail report. This will help you reconcile between Convio and your bank account. Number 16 is really important. It's our walk sponsorship report. It's going to give you each sponsorship entry that you've entered into Convio correctly. So if you're looking for sponsorship totals or checking to see which sponsorships have been entered so far, this is a great report to run. Number 17 will give you a list of all companies in Convio, and that's helpful for when you're entering your sponsorships. You can check and see if there's an existing record for a specific company. And then number 18 are 2013 teams that have not yet returned. This is a great report to run if you're planning on calling down to past team captains that have not yet registered. You're going to choose, whenever you run this report, you'll see that there's a filter to ask for which event you want to report on. It may seem, since you're looking at 2013 teams, that you would choose a 2013 walk. However, you want to make sure that you're actually choosing your 2014 walk for this event. And that way it's going to scrub against who has already registered in that 2014 walk and who has not. And you'll want to be sure when you run this report to double check against your existing registration report for 2014, just in case any team captains created a new record or registered with a new email address in 2014. So that will cover all of the Report Writer's syndicated reports that we have available for you for WALK in 2014. If you'd like, you can copy any of these reports and create your own version of them using the information that's available to you on WALK Central. You can add or subtract reports, or include additional filters as well. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much.